Hello everyone, Cindy here with Monarch Mom DIY. Excited to be bringing you these top 25 Easter DIYs to do in 2025. For DIY number 1, we're going to make this oval bunny platter using a metal platter from Dollar Tree, this bunny, and some other materials. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my white Waverly chalk paint and I am going to paint this entire metal platter, giving it one great solid coat and then letting that dry completely. Once that's dry, I am going to go over it with a coat of Mod Podge just so that our paint does not scratch off of our metal platter. And I did do the front and back of the platter. Now they have in the Easter crafts these little bunnies that come with markers that you can have kids color. I am going to take the back side and paint it also white and then also go over it with our Mod Podge. While that Mod Podge is still wet, we're going to press a pretty piece of scrapbook paper down onto the bunny and press out any air bubbles. Then apply another layer of Mod Podge on top of the paper to let that dry completely. Once it has dried, we're going to clean up the excess scrapbook paper the best we can with this Fiskars fingertip knife on a cutting mat. Normally I just use the sander, but because there are small spaces on this, we're going to start with the knife and then clean up the edges a little bit better with our sander. Next, I'm going to take a brown paint marker. You could also use distressing ink. You could use Waverly Antique Wax. And I'm just going to outline our bunny with this brown to give it a distressed look. Once I've painted all the way around, I'm going to blend that out with my sander. Next, I'm going to take my hot glue and put a generous amount on the backside of our bunny. Then we're going to stick this down onto the tray up at the top to leave some space at the bottom. We're going to add some lamb's ear. You could use flowers. You could use other greenery. This is just what I had in my stash, and I liked the soft green color of the lamb's ear. So just apply some hot glue and then add your florals or your greenery. Once you've added all the leaves or the flowers that you'd like, you can also add in some of these pastel colored little foam Easter eggs that Dollar Tree has as well, just to add a little more color and interest. And I'm using them to cover up any stems from the leaves that I've added in. I also have these little berries on stems. You can add in some of those as well. And here is our finished bunny oval platter. You could also add some distressing around the edges of that platter if you would like to give it an older look. For DIY number 2, we're going to make this Easter egg porch sign. We're going to use whatever background piece you have, a bunch of these color your own Easter eggs, and this metal word happy that you can also find at Dollar Tree. Now these are about 7 inches tall. These are pretty big. They come 2 in a package. So I'm going to buy 3 packages, so I have 6 eggs. I am using here the colors Agave, Maize, and I believe Ballet Slipper. So we're going to do 2 for each color and get those all painted. This is the piece that I'm using the back of for my sign. Again, you can just get a long piece of wood. They sell them at Hobby Lobby. This might even be from Hobby Lobby. I decided to take the agave all the way around the outside as a border, and then I'm also going to take that agave color and paint our large metal word that says happy, and we'll let that dry completely. Now, normally I would use stencils to do the letters for the word Easter on my eggs here, my magnolia stencils, but I'm going to show you an alternative using stencils that you can buy from Walmart. These are paper stencils that you can just trace the letters on top of your eggs. So I'm going to do pink, yellow, agave to spell the word Easter. Once I have the letters traced out onto each of my eggs, I'm going to use one of these black paint markers, also from Walmart. You can see first I'm going to trace the outline of each letter, and then I'm going to fill it in with my paint marker. Here you can see all of my letters are painted in with my marker, and I just have them laying out, overlapping, going side to side, and getting them all in place before I start gluing. One correction, it looks like I used pool blue to do the border on my sign, and then I've got agave for the word happy and 2 of my eggs. 2 eggs are ballet slipper and 2 eggs are maize yellow. So I'm just now taking them one at a time, gluing them down, making sure you can see the letters. And here's our super cute Happy Easter sign using those Easter egg shapes. What a great porch sitter, and pretty quick and easy to make as well. For DIY number 3, we're going to make some clothespin carrots. We're going to use some wooden clothespins from Dollar Tree, some greenery, some paint, and some twine and ribbon. So the first thing you're going to do is take apart your clothespins, and I'm going to use 3 clothespins for each of my carrots. Once I have all the pieces taken apart, I'm going to paint each of the pieces with my pumpkin Waverly chalk paint, which is a really pretty orange color. Notice I did not bother painting the flat sides of each of the clothespins because we are going to glue our 2 halves together on that flat side. So we're going to do that to all of our pieces. Then taking 2 of those, we're going to glue together the angled part at the bottom and then lay a 3rd set over top. So you can see we're using 3 clothespins to make 1 carrot. There's 2 that are glued together at the bottom, and then 1 more that's laying over the top, and then we've got our 3rd. Then on the back, there's a little space there. I'm going to put some glue there, and that's where I'm going to shove some of this greenery. Now, I don't know where this greenery came from, but it really does look like the tops of carrots, which is kind of cool. But you could use boxwood, greenery, whatever you have. It's not going to look like a real carrot, obviously, because it's a clothespin, but they're super cute little DIYs that you can add to projects or tiered trays. Then you can see I'm going to make a few different bows here. I've got an orange and cream plaid here, or buffalo check, and then the black and white buffalo check. Just use what you have on hand, giving you some different ideas of just adding a little decorative bow to the top of your carrot there. And then this 3rd one, I'm just going to make a simple bow using some jute twine. And how cute are these tiny little carrots made out of wooden clothespins. For DIY number 4, we're going to make this shiplap metal bunny sign using these signs from Dollar Tree that have these kind of corrugated looking metal bunnies. And so I'm going to use 2 of those. I'm going to remove them from the Dollar Tree sign and save those surfaces for another project. I'm then going to take 2 5x7 frames from Dollar Tree, remove the backing and the glass, and I'm going to give these kind of a quick coat of white Waverly chalk paint. We just want to lighten them up and give them kind of a distressed look. So we're going to do that quickly on the tops and the sides. Maybe sand it down a little bit if it got a little too heavy, giving it a little more of that distressed look, and set those aside to dry. Now I'm going to take some of these larger craft sticks from Dollar Tree, and you can see I measured them on the glass there and cut enough pieces that are going to fill in the back of our frame. And I am painting those with my antique wax by Waverly and then wiping off the excess. Once those are dry, I'm going to flip my frame over and I'm going to glue those pieces into the back of the frame to give our sign a, like I said, a wood shiplap look. I love the farmhouse look of this. And then once those are ready, we're just going to put a little more hot glue back on our metal bunnies and glue those down to our popsicle stick background. You can just go ahead then and pop the backings in so that you are able to hang or stand these signs up. And I think these are super cute and really, really easy to make with just a few simple supplies. For DIY number 5, we're going to use some of the foam dice from Dollar Tree and some balloons to make a little bunny and a chick. We're also going to use a feather and some fun foam. So taking balloons, you can easily cover these foam dice without having to paint them. So just cut off the ends to your balloons, stretch them out, and you should be able to fit your foam dice in there and then cut off the excess. Then you're going to take another balloon, if you'd like, and pull that up over the other way. And then again, just trim off the little bit of excess there. We're going to be placing that face down. You can see I did do 3 white balloons on this orange dice just to make sure I was covering up the dots all the way and that orange color, but you can see how many you're going to need. I'm going to do 3 yellow ones as well. Then taking this heart shape, I am going to trace this heart out onto some orange fun foam. Sometimes you can find this at Dollar Tree. I did get mine, I believe, at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. I think Walmart has it too. And you can see I'm going to glue this on the bottom of my yellow dice to be my little chick's feet, and then just a small little triangle to be a beak. Next, I'm going to take my white fun foam and I'm just free cutting a couple of ears. I'm going to do one and then trace that one for my second one and cut those out. Then we're going to make a smaller little piece of pink to glue on top of the white for our ears. We're going to use that heart shape again also for the feet for our rabbit, just tracing that on white fun foam. Once we have those ears made, we'll go ahead and glue those onto the back of our white cube to be our little bunny's ears. I should also say you could make these bunny and chick out of wood cubes as well if you wanted to paint, but I really like the simplicity of covering them with the balloons. All right, so I cut also a little pink nose for the bunny, and then I'm just using a Sharpie to draw on some facial features, some whiskers, the eyes, and then we'll glue that little pink nose on as well. On the back of our bunny, I'm just going to glue a little white pom-pom for his tail, and then he's done. Coming back to the chick, we'll add a couple of eyes, and then in this package of feathers, which sometimes you can also find these at Dollar Tree as well, I'm just picking a couple of cute little yellow ones to glue onto the back just to be some added feathers for our chick. Oh my goodness, these are turning out so cute. For an extra final little added touch, I'm going to take that black and white checked ribbon and I'm going to add a little bow to the top of our little chick's head here, make it a cute little girl chick, and then we're going to make a little bow with some jute twine and add this to our bunny. And here are the finished bunny and chick. So cute. These would be fun to make with some kids as well. For DIY number 6, we're going to make some Easter shadow boxes using a couple of these banks from Dollar Tree and some various other items, some napkins, and some decorative rocks and eggs. So the first thing I'm going to do, this is optional of course, these banks when I found them were black, so I'm going to tape off the glass. You can't remove the glass, so I taped it off, and then I'm going to do just kind of a rough painting over the sides and the front edges with some white chalk paint just to lighten these up for the Easter season. While that paint is drying, we're going to paint the backings of our shadow boxes with white and then put some matte finish Mod Podge down. And then I'm just going to go ahead and apply my napkin, going over it again with Mod Podge to seal it down. You guys have seen me do this before. I have one napkin that's some pretty flowers, this other one that is a bunny and chicks, and I'm going to do one of each. Next, I am going to take, this is for one of the shadow boxes is going to be more of a Resurrection Sunday, a religious Easter theme. I am going to make a little cross that we're going to add inside. I'm just doing this by hot gluing some tumbling tower blocks together. Now, I'm using the knife here, and of course, you can always use the sander as well to remove the excess of your napkin. So look how cute that is, just to take that and add that background in there. Now I am flipping the bank upside down. So now where the money hole is going to be the bottom. And we're going to take some hot glue and add a little bit of the reindeer moss in here from Dollar Tree to give it, again, just a nice Easter look in there with some grass. We're going to add some eggs. This is the shadow box that's going to have, I believe, the bunny napkin in it. I did mention that we are making one of these shadow boxes with a religious, more Resurrection Sunday theme. Here's the bunny one, so cute. And I will say that next week, I will be having a video that has all my best religious Easter DIYs. So if you're concerned that I only have this one project of this whole video that is the Christian Easter, don't worry, next week's video is going to be all religious Easter projects. But look how cute these two DIYs came out with just adding a few things and the napkin. For DIY number 7, we're going to make a super cute little carrot crate using some craft sticks, some tumbling tower blocks. Looks like here first we're going to take 4 blocks and glue those together on the long sides. We are going to make 4 sets of that. And then for the bottom of our crate, we're going to glue 2 of those sets together. And then the other 2 sets are going to be the sides of our little crate that we're making. So the bottom and then the 2 shorter edges. Then we're going to cut some of these same craft sticks we used earlier for the kind of the crate. We're going to do, I think, 2 of them, 2 along the front of the crate and 2 along the back. So we're going to, once we have everything cut, we're going to go ahead and paint all of this with our antique wax. On the inside and on the outside, we'll do the same thing with the craft sticks. Once all those are painted and dry, I'm just going to use my hot glue gun here to glue those one across at the very bottom, just lining up those corners, and then the other one across the top of our tumbling tower blocks, just to make this super cute little crate. I love it. I think it's so adorable. Next, I'm going to take some Excelsior grass. You could use the reindeer moss if you'd like, and just taking some of these Dollar Tree carrots and sticking those inside. Let's use our little ladybug vacuum to clean up the rest of that grass, shall we? Then taking this little chalkboard clip from Dollar Tree, I'm going to write bunny food, 5 cents with my white paint marker, and we're just going to stick that, we're going to clip it to the front of the crate. How adorable. For DIY number 8, we're going to take a mossy bunny. We're going to make a mossy bunny. I've got this Happy Easter sign from Dollar Tree, and what I'm going to do is just take some good scissors and gently cut the two places there where the bunny is attached. If you don't have this sign, you can find lots of bunny shapes at Dollar Tree and other stores to make this with. And then I'm going to make a little stand with 4 tumbling tower blocks. I'm going to glue those together in 2 lines. Coming back to my bunny, I am just going to take hot glue in little portions, and I'm going to stick some of that green moss to it. It's a really simple project, and this just gives this bunny a little bit of a different look. Once your moss is all on there, you're going to flip that over and kind of trim around the edges with your scissors, and then we're going to glue that little base on that we made. Once that's glued on, you can go ahead and add a little more moss on the bottom to cover up that space. Again, you can see I'm going to use some of these eggs. I don't remember if these are from Dollar Tree. These might be from Hobby Lobby actually, and I'm just going to add a little egg. DIY number 9, we're going to call Gingham Bunny. I'm going to use this round, I believe it was a mirror from Dollar Tree, some gingham scrapbook paper, and this bunny shape. I'm using this foam board as well from Dollar Tree. I'm going to trim around the outside of the circle frame. I have already painted this with white chalk paint. It was originally black. And then I'm going to cut out my foam board circle. I'm going to give some background color to this circle. I am going to use Mineral Gray. It is a light gray chalk paint by Waverly. Next, I'm going to take one of these felt bunnies from Dollar Tree. These come in a set. I believe they're to make like a little garland. And I'm going to trace around this bunny on the back of my black and white gingham scrapbook paper. And then I'm going to cut out the bunny shape. Because it's such thin paper, I am going to Mod Podge this bunny to a piece of cardboard just to give it a little more stability, and then it will be able to kind of have a little bit more of a 3D look. And then we're going to cut that out once it is dry. Next, I'm going to take a black Sharpie marker, or you could use a paint marker, and just go around the edges of my bunny. Take that bunny tail that was on the felt bunny and glue that onto our gingham bunny. Then taking some hot glue around the back of my circle frame here, I'm going to glue that down onto that gray circle that we painted, that we cut out from the foam board. Now you could do this project in many different color schemes. If you don't like the black and white and gray, that's a-okay. You use whatever colors you would like, and you can make this project your own. Now I didn't like that edge that was showing there, so I'm going to take some more of this black and white gingham ribbon from Dollar Tree and glue it around the edges just to make it look more finished. Again, this is for neutral Easter decor. Definitely change up the colors for your preferences. For DIY number 10, we're going to make a bunnies and carrots sign using some more of these color your own bunnies and these carrot decor from Dollar Tree. You can use whatever background you'd like for this project, but I'm going to take these 2 bunnies first of all, and I am going to add some Mod Podge to our bunnies. You can see one bunny is facing the left and one is facing the right. I'm doing that on purpose. I want them to be facing each other, and since we're covering them with paper, it doesn't matter that the one on the left has those cartoony kind of lines drawn on it. So we're going to get those onto the paper, and then once that paper is dry, we're going to use our little Fiskars fingertip knife again to trace around them because there are so many small little spaces. Once they're mostly cut out, then you can clean up your edges with your little hand sander. Now you can use whatever surface you'd like for the base of this project. These happen to be 2 of the square shiplap surfaces you can get from Michaels. I think I got them on sale. And I'm just going to glue them together on the back using some pieces that I've cut from some 1 gallon paint sticks to make one larger rectangular sign. Here I'm just going to lay out my bunnies on either side and 3 of the Dollar Tree carrots in the middle. This sign is going to have no words on it. It's just going to be the cute little gingham bunnies and the 3 carrots in the middle. Again, if you want to add words to it, you totally could, but I'm just using the bunnies and carrots images. Now I am going to add a bow. I believe this black and white one is going to go on the carrots somewhere right there on the middle. And then we're going to add some twine bows onto our bunnies. So once those are tied and trimmed, we're just going to put a dot of hot glue and put them like what would be on the neck of the bunny. And then I'm just going to add a couple of buttons as well for a little bit more of a decorative touch. I have bigger white ones, and then a smaller black one on top. Really, really cute and simple. I hope you guys are inspired to create something for yourself with what you have in your stash. For DIY number 11, this is a little bit different. We're going to make an Easter themed tiered stand using this cake pan and this metal flower pot from Dollar Tree. So I'm going to take both of these metal items and I'm going to paint them with my Waverly chalk paint in the color Plaster. Next, I'm going to take this white tag from Hobby Lobby's party section, and I am going to paint it black. I'm just painting right over that white. Then I'm going to take this stencil from monarchmomdiy.com. It has the word home here, and I am just going to stencil this with my chalk paste onto our little tag. This is super simple to do with the stencil and the chalk paste. Of course, you could just write the word home with a white paint marker. Now coming back to our 2 metal pieces, now that they're dry, I'm just going to take some of my antique wax here, and I'm just wanting to distress my pieces, make them look a little more worn. This is more the farmhouse look. Of course, if this does not appeal to you, then just go ahead and skip this step. But I just wanted to show how you can use this antique wax to give kind of a stained look to your pieces. Coming back to my tag now, I'm going to take that Plaster chalk paint and go around the edges of my tag. Now using some E6000, I'm going to go around the bottom of the vase or bucket, I don't know what you'd call that, and then we're going to glue that to the bottom of the cake pan and set that aside. Now you're going to see me make a couple little things to add to our tray. I'm going to paint some of these plain foam Easter eggs. I'm just using some blue, pink, and yellow, some pretty pastel colors. Look at this jump rope. Have you seen this at Dollar Tree? They're carrots. So I'm going to take those and I'm going to paint those like a cream color or white to go with the theme here. And then I'm going to take some green burlap ribbon and I'm going to cut and make the little greenery for our carrots. So this is kind of like a few little bonus projects. And then you just kind of wad those all together at the bottom, and we're going to stick those in the hole with just a little bit of hot glue. Just another cute little way to make some carrots for your Easter decor. All right, now we're going to come back to our tiered tray. I'm just going to add a little bit of ribbon to my tag here, and I'm just going to tie this around kind of the top part of the tiered tray where the cake pan and the bucket meat, and we're just going to let that hang down as a little added decoration. Just put a little dot of glue so that the tag hangs kind of at an angle. Now you have this really cute tray that you can add to for other seasons. You can see I'm going to use some moss. I'm going to use some of these little pit berries, my carrots that I made. I have one of those little paint your own bunnies from Dollar Tree. I do have a stuffed bunny there that I made just by cutting some fabric and stuffing it. But look how cute this is. You can make a little tiered tray for a centerpiece or just some decor. I love it. And of course, change up the colors to match your decor. For DIY number 12, we're going to make some mini palette bunny signs. We're going to use some of these bunny ornaments, 2 of these mini palettes from Dollar Tree, and some twine. First thing I'm going to do is take some wood glue. I want to fill in the little ornament hole on the ear of our bunnies. So I am applying that wood filler to the back of the bunnies, and we're going to let that dry. While that's drying, we're going to take our antique wax and we're going to paint this onto our mini palettes, give them a nice dark stained look for this project. I am taking a brush and getting in all those little spaces around all the edges, front, back, sides, you name it. We want the entire thing painted, and then we'll wipe off the excess so that it can dry completely. And we'll do this to both of our mini palettes. Coming back now to our bunny ornaments, like we did in a previous project, I'm going to make one of these bunnies facing the right and one of them facing the left, and we're just going to give them a coat of our white Waverly chalk paint. Now, I didn't show this, but I also did some antique wax on 8 of these tumbling tower blocks, and now that they're dry, I am wood gluing them together to make 4 sticks that are 2 blocks long. We're going to set those aside to make sure they dry completely. Next, we're going to make another jute twine bow just by wrapping the string around the fingers, tying them in the center, and we're going to make one of these for each of our bunnies. And then we're going to glue those onto the neck of each of our bunnies. Again, one of our bunnies is facing to the right and one is facing to the left. Once those are secure, then we'll put some more hot glue on the back of our bunny and center that down onto our dark wood stained mini palette there. Again, these are very neutral colors. You can definitely paint your palettes a different color if you want something a little brighter. Now we're going to make these be able to stand up by gluing these 2 long sticks of tumbling tower blocks on the front and back of our palette, and we're just going to squeeze that together until that paint is dry and our little signs can stand. Aren't these adorable and so cute and easy to make? Another great craft you could do with some kiddos. For DIY 13, we're going to make this striped Easter blessings egg. You can find big egg shapes anywhere really. And then the Easter and blessings words, these metal words, are from Dollar Tree. So I decided on the back side of this, I am going to take some painter's tape and I'm going to make some stripes. This is probably a 1.5 inch painter's tape, I believe. So you can see I'm going to make some stripes here, and I'm just going right up against the next piece, but then I'm going to start removing every other piece to completely cover the egg. There you go. So now we've got spaces in between that we are going to paint. I'm using all sorts of pretty springy paint colors here. You can definitely use whatever colors you would choose, and I'm counting off to make sure that I'm leaving space for the other colors. Once I have painted in all the spaces, I am going to peel up the painter's tape to now expose where the unpainted stripes are. We're going to let that paint dry, and then once that paint is dry, we're going to put painter's tape over it, and now we're going to paint the other stripes that were not painted. So I kind of have in my head my order of colors, so I know which colors need to go next in these unfinished spaces. We'll finish painting those and then peel up the tape to show all of our pretty stripes. And isn't that so cute? I love that. Now I'm going to take my white chalk paint and I'm going to cover over the metal look of these metal words. Easter blessings is what we're going to put on this cross. I just like the softer white instead of the shiny metal. So you can paint right over those. You probably will want to spray a sealer on them so that the paint doesn't scratch off. The last thing I'm going to add to this project is one of these chunky wood crosses from Dollar Tree as well. We're going to paint the front and all of the sides with white and then let that dry completely. Now that everything is painted and dry, we can start gluing things down to the front of our sign. We're going to start with blessings at the bottom, then we're going to glue the word Easter at the top, and then we'll glue the cross to the middle. And here's our finished sign. I just love all the different stripes with the different pastel colors for Easter. For DIY 14, we are going to make this 3D bunny spring sign using a wood palette or surface, some grass, eggs, carrots, twine, and 3 of these Easter eggs that are in the shape of bunnies. So what I'm doing is I'm taking just the back half of 3 of these bunnies and I'm going to paint them with chalk paint to cover up the shininess and also give a little bit of a softer color to these eggs. Now I chose not to use the front pieces that had the eyes and the nose and stuff. I just kind of want the illusion of the bunny, I guess. Just the shape of it, not necessarily the face. So I'm using, it looks like I used a nice lemon for the yellow, maybe that's maize, and then I used pool blue, and then I'm going to use ballet slipper for a nice soft pink. So I'm just using a foam brush to paint those and then let those dry. I am going to take this sign, I believe this one is from Hobby Lobby in their wood section, and I'm going to paint the slats with a light gray. It is by Waverly and it is called Mineral, and we're just going to add this little bit of color to our background. Now coming back to our bunnies, I'm just going to take a piece of jute twine and I'm going to wrap it kind of around the neck of each of the bunnies. We're adding a little bit of farmhouse look to these bunnies and some texture as well. Coming back to the background, I've decided I wanted to distress it by dry brushing some white on top of the gray just to lighten it up a little and give it a little added interest. Next, I'm going to take some small little white pom-poms and I'm going to glue one to each of my bunnies to give them a little fluffy tail. Now I'm going to take this spring banner from a Dollar Tree sign. You saw it had a bunny kind of holding this banner. We're going to borrow this spring banner from it and add it to this project after I outline the pennant banner with some black just to make it stand out a little bit more from our background. Once I have that, I'm just going to put a few little dots of hot glue on each of my bunnies to glue that down to our background. And then we're going to glue that cute little spring banner as well at the top of our project. Then at the bottom, underneath our bunnies, we just have to add a little bit of grass to finish off this project. And I just love how this turned out. I think it is just so cute and creative. I hope you have fun making one for yourself. For DIY number 15, we're going to make this beaded spring bunny sign using one of these frames with the beaded handles, a couple of these picks, some grass, some little carrots, and some Scrabble tiles. So you can make this in any type of frame that you'd like. I happen to have some of these still. So I'm going to cut a piece of scrapbook paper, springy scrapbook paper, that I'm going to Mod Podge right over where this design was on the sign. We're going to Mod Podge that on, press that out to let it dry completely. Now these are some little bunny picks that you can find at Dollar Tree in their Easter craft supplies and decor. The blue was cute, but it was too glittery. I didn't want the glitter, so I'm going to take my agave chalk paint and just soften that up a little bit. Now this might look familiar, but I'm using mini clothespins this time. I'm going to make a couple more of the carrots using clothespins. And again, we're going to use the mini clothespins. I did go ahead and glue them before I painted them. Once our scrapbook paper is dry, we're going to add that back into our frame. How cute is that with the little white polka dots on the yellow paper? All right, now that our clothespins are glued together, we're going to paint those again with that pumpkin chalk paint. We're going to get our little bunny and we're going to add a little jute twine bow on the bunny there, tying another one that you've seen me do a few times in this video. Super easy to make, and just tie a knot, trim off the edges, and then you can just add this by gluing it on there to the neck of our little bunny. Just add a little hot glue and there you go. You can see I also have the Scrabble tiles on the left side here to spell out the word spring. Sometimes you can find Scrabble tiles at Dollar Tree, Dollar General. I usually look for Scrabble games at yard sales and thrift stores, things like that. I like to every once in a while add words with Scrabble tiles, and spring is going to go so cute with this project. All right, we're starting to glue everything on now. Let's add a little bit of grass. You'll notice I left some space under the bunny so we can add a little bit of the moss there underneath for some more texture. And now I am going to put my little carrots together. Now these, I am gluing the greenery onto the back of one set of clothespins. All right, and then I'm gluing the 3 clothespins together like we did earlier with the larger clothespins. So I'm just going to make one big carrot, and then I'm going to make 3 of these little small ones just for a variety of sizes. Just glue those wherever you'd like. I may not even use all of them, but I think they're super cute. And here's our super adorable finished project. It does have that beaded hanger. You can hang it, or you can just let that tuck behind and stand this up on a shelf. For DIY 16, we're going to make a reversible Easter egg or chick. I have another one of these Easter egg shapes. We're going to use some heart plaques and some other things from the craft store. So on this zigzag side, I am going to paint this entire egg with maize. And this is going to just give me a nice base with which to work on this project. Now I'm using 3 of these heart plaques. These are probably from Valentine's at Dollar Tree, but you can use any sort of heart shape. It does not have to be this one, but I'm going to paint all 3 of these with my orange chalk paint called Pumpkin. So I've painted the front side that has the zigzag lines. Now I am painting around the side edges. And then once that's dry, I'm going to flip it over, and we're also going to paint the back side of this egg with the maize as well. This side is flat. It does not have anything etched on it. Now going back to the etched side, I'm going to take some more of my spring colors of scrapbook paper, and I'm going to use this embossing tool to kind of what would you call this? Trace out, I guess, where those zigzag lines are onto my paper so that I can cut out the scrapbook paper to match that space on the Easter egg. Then I'm kind of going around the outside shape of the egg as well so I can cut out that paper. I'm going to do the same thing here on this third section of the egg, so it'll be zigzag on both the top and the bottom, just tracing it out so that I can cut it out. Once I have those pieces cut out, I'll put some Mod Podge on that section of the egg and stick that paper down onto that section. Now, if your egg does not have the zigzag lines etched in, you could cut whatever shape of zigzags or sections you want that you can add scrapbook paper to your egg. You can see here also I am doing Mod Podge over the top of the scrapbook paper as well to make sure that is nice and sealed down. Then once that is dry, we'll just take our knife here and trim around the excess. This is a thicker cardstock, so I am using the knife instead of the sander to get that excess off. Now that our Easter egg side is finished, we're going to come back over to our chick side. This is the flat, smooth side. And I just found 2 wood circle shapes in my stash. These are actually like lemon stickers or something. And I'm going to paint those black to be the eyes for my big chick here. And then one of these hearts, you can see, we're going to glue it kind of at an angle. We're going to have to stick something under there to make it stick out. We're going to put some tumbling tower blocks onto the other 2 hearts that we are going to glue down at the bottom to be the feet. I think this is so cute. So we're using an Easter egg and 3 heart shapes to make this big chick. Coming back to the eyes now, we're going to add a white button to each of our black circles to make them look more like eyes. And here is our finished Easter egg side. Again, whatever colors of paint and paper you'd like. And then I do have some greenery at the bottom there to cover up maybe the feet where they would be showing from the other side. And then here's our cute little chick. How adorable is this? I think this is so cute. Would look great on a mantle. For DIY 17, we're going to make something similar to that large chick. We're going to make some mini egg chicks. I have found these Easter decor. They look like mini shiplap eggs, and we're going to use some small wood hearts, some tumbling tower blocks, and some orange paint. So I am going to paint 3 of these hearts orange for each of our chicks. I'm also going to paint 2 of these. I guess they're not tumbling tower blocks. They're kind of a knockoff block, but you could use tumbling tower blocks. And we're going to glue a heart to the bottom of each of these sticks, these tumbling tower blocks. This is going to be the feet, and the sticks themselves are going to be the legs. So now we're going to glue those to the chick, and this is what's going to allow our little mini chick to stand up or sit, I guess. And then we're going to take a little piece there of a stick. We're going to glue this kind of where the beak's going to go. We're giving a little bit of an anchor here to now glue our other heart to. That's going to be the beak. How cute. And then some black buttons. These were really simple to make and really cute. So now we've got a couple of mini chicks to go with our big chick. Now, we don't like that hole that's there at the top of the head, and our chicks need a little fluff. So you could either use a little feather like we used with our foam dice chicks, or I'm taking this yellow ribbon. You can see in a second here, I've folded it over 3 times, and I've kind of glued it at the base each time, and we're just going to glue that right over that hole to make our cute little mini chicks out of these egg ornaments. For DIY 18, we're going to make a simple bunny plaque on an easel with this surface from Dollar Tree, the bunny plaque, and some ribbon and some moss. So I'm going to use Pink Cloud this time to paint our little bunny plaque here, give it a nice fun spring color, and then just go over it a little bit, kind of outlining it with some white and a chippy brush. Next, we're going to take some of this black and white gingham ribbon from Dollar Tree. We're going to just tie a really simple bow here using this. And I'm going to add this up to one of the ears to our little girl bunny here. And I'm going to add some of this green lace type of ribbon as well. We're just going to layer those on top of each other for some added texture. Next, we're going to glue our bunny down to a little bit higher than halfway on this easel sign from Dollar Tree. Add a little bit of this brown moss underneath the bunny and just to give it a little bit of texture. And then we're going to add our bows to our bunny's ear. Isn't that so cute and simple? I love that. Again, change up the colors for whatever you'd like. You could even paint the background of that little easel sign if you'd like. For DIY 19, we're going to make this Happy Easter door round using a wood round from Hobby Lobby, a bunny and the Happy Easter from Dollar Tree, and some ribbon. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to give an antique wax background to my wood round. These you can find at Hobby Lobby. They come in a set of 3. There are 3 different sizes, and I buy mine when they're on sale. Of course, you could also do this project on a pizza pan if you would like. Now, I'm going to very carefully remove this raised space out of the ears from the bunnies. I try to heat up the glue a little bit and then pry those up. I'm also going to do the same thing with the bunny's tail to remove those pieces and try to clean that up because I want to use the other side of the bunny. We're going to fill in the hole there as well on the bunny's ears. And then we're going to paint our bunny with our white Waverly chalk paint. Next, taking my Happy Easter sign, I'm going to carefully take some scissors and I'm going to cut apart the 2 words. This gives me a little more flexibility on where I can place them on my sign. So you can just cut those apart. The wood is thin enough, and then sand the edges. I'm then going to take my wood filler and fill in the holes on the word happy from the back there. Then I'm going to paint those inside pieces of the rabbit's ear with ballet slipper. And then I'm also going to start painting, I believe, every other letter. So I am going to use, this is ballet slipper, which is the pink, and then the dark teal is called peacock. So yes, you can see I'm going to do every other letter with the pink and then come back with the peacock, the teal color, and paint the other letters as well. Now that everything is painted, we can start gluing things together. I'm going to glue those pink sections onto the bunny's ears. And I am going to put a little bit of tumbling tower blocks behind the bunny just so that I can glue it flat because there is an edge around that wood round. So I'm just kind of laying everything out, how I'm going to glue it down. Once I have my bunny in the place that I want, I'm going to put a little dot of glue under the foot and the nose and then on those tumbling tower blocks. And then the words Happy Easter that we painted with the 2 different colors of paint. Next, once everything's glued on, I'm going to put a little glue at the bottom here and add some moss for our bunny to sit in. This is the browner one. You could use the green as well, just to add some texture to our little spring project here. I'm also going to take a couple of these Dollar Tree carrots. You notice I took out the greenery that they had and I just stuck in a piece of some fake eucalyptus, I believe. Next, I'm going to take some Eastery ribbon from Hobby Lobby, and I think this teal is from Dollar Tree. And we're just going to cut some pieces here to make a big messy bow. I'm going to do the 2 teal pieces. Then this ribbon is from Hobby Lobby, the colorful pastel rainbow. And I'm just going to do those 2 ribbons, tying it together in the center. Once we have that tied and trimmed down to the size we want it, we'll glue that onto the top of our round. Now this could go in an easel. You could also add a hanger to be able to hang this on a door. For DIY number 20, we're going to make some simple block bunnies. I am using a square wood block surface that I got from Target Dollar Spot, I believe, but you could use any square shape wood pieces that you might have. Now these are kind of skinny, so what I'm going to do, because I have 2 packs of these, is I'm going to glue 2 blocks together so that the painted sides are glued in the middle, and then I just have the unfinished looking on the outside. Now these, I'm going to measure how big these are. They're about 4 inches square, so I am going to cut some spring looking scrapbook paper that I am going to put onto my bunnies. Next, I'm going to take this lavender colored acrylic paint. This is Apple Barrel. It's the inexpensive paint from Walmart, and I'm going to paint my blocks. I'm going to paint the one side and then all the sides. I'm going to leave one side unpainted. That's where I'm going to put the Mod Podge, and we're going to stick down this really cute pastel plaid scrapbook paper to be the front of our bunnies. These are 3 little wood plugs. They kind of look like little mushrooms that I'm painting with a dark pink. Those are going to be our bunny's noses. Then I made a really simple ear shape that I am going to trace 3 sets on the back of this cork from Dollar Tree that is adhesive on the one side, and we're going to cut all of those ears out. We're going to make 3 sets, but then I decided I didn't want them to have that white sticky, so I'm actually making the ears the cork on both sides, if that made sense. So to make 2 ears, I'm actually cutting out 4 ears because they're going to stick together in the middle so that we have the cork on the front and the back. So now I have 1 set of ears. I'm going to glue those together and make 2 more sets. I decided I wanted to outline my ears a little bit, so I unwound this white nautical rope so that I just had 1 strand of it, and I'm going to glue this around the outside of my ears. You can see I'm just putting down a little bit of hot glue and then kind of untwisting and laying down that white rope as I go around the ears. So I'm going to do that on all 3 sets of the ears, and then I'm gluing these right on top of my block, putting a good amount of hot glue where the 2 blocks are glued together, and then reinforcing it at the bottom, on the front, and the back. So we're going to do that to all 3 of our block bunnies. Oh, these are turning out so cute. Next, I took a little bit of wire, and I'm going to make some whiskers and then glue the little button nose on top of that. To finish off our bunnies and to kind of hide where the ears are glued on, I'm going to add some little pieces of greenery and these cute little purple flowers to the top of our bunnies. The tail is going to be a white paper rose from Hobby Lobby that we're going to glue onto the back here. So here are our cute little block bunnies. I have that middle one turned around so you can see the back, and these are so adorable. For DIY 21, we're going to make this Easter bunny wreath using the wreath form from Dollar Tree, some ribbon, and some rope. So what you're going to want to do is attach your rope with some hot glue, and then instead of just wrapping it continuously around, you're going to kind of want to weave it. So I'm going over the top and then through the middle to cover up all of the wire, but you're not going to use as much of the rope. So you can see I'm going through and then up and around. It does take a little bit longer, but you're going to use less rope this way. It's going to give it kind of a cool braided look too. So just going around and then through and then up over, come through that first space and then down around the bottom, and you can see how it looks really cool and like a braided look. When you get to the end, just tie it off, or not tie it, glue it off, and then start with another piece. This is the back. So on the back, you're going to see that middle wire, but on the front, you won't because you've been going over it each time. I'm going to take the Happy Easter metal words from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to dab some yellow paint on those so they're not so shiny. Now I did use nautical rope for the head, but for the ears I'm just going to use a thicker jute twine. This one is from Walmart, so you will be having to, wrap a while and then put your ball of yarn or jute twine through until you get those wrapped all of the way. Next, I'm going to take some different Easter ribbons from Dollar Tree, and we're going to cut some pieces to make a stacked bow here. I'm just laying them all out and tying them in the center to cinch them all together. We're going to tie that super tight with a jute twine. So you can see I've got 1, 2, 3 different ribbons that are the loops, and then the other 3 that are just hanging down. So we're going to go ahead and fold those tail pieces in half and dovetail them. Then we're going to glue that super cute bow right up there at the base of the ears, fluff it out, and I did just put the word Easter on there. I thought because the bow took up so much space, we did not need both words. I love how this turned out. I think it's so cute. For DIY 22, we're going to make this beaded bunny pizza pan sign using a beaded wreath hoop from Dollar Tree, as well as this pizza pan and the bunny shape. I am going to turn this over to the back side because when I add the beads, it's easier when you have that little edge there to add the beads to. Now, right now what I'm putting on is Mod Podge, because if I put some Mod Podge on here and let it dry, it's going to let my paint stick better to the metal surface. So once that Mod Podge was dry, I'm going to go over that now with Ballet Slipper. This color is going to match the scrapbook paper that I chose to put on the back. Now, if you didn't know, these splatter screens, if you trace this and cut out your circle, this matches the size of the circle on the pizza pan. So I always keep one of these handy when I'm going to be making a pizza pan sign. And then I'm going to Mod Podge that super cute paper right onto the pizza pan. So we're going to put a good generous layer of Mod Podge now on that back side of the pizza pan circle and press down our scrapbook paper, getting out any air bubbles, making sure it's nice and centered. Once that's dry, I'm going to go over the Ballet Slipper paint again with Mod Podge as well as my scrapbook paper circle. Once that's dry, I'm going to take some pliers and I am going to unhook the wreath of wood beads, but I don't want them to come off. So make sure you bend that section over to make sure they're going to stay on. And so what we're going to do is we're going to open this up a little bit more so that it fits the curvature of the pizza pan. But you notice it doesn't go all the way, but that's okay because we're going to have our bunny shape at the bottom there. So I'm going to put some dots of some E6000, or you could use a gel super glue, something that's not too runny. I'm going to put some hot glue in between all those dots, and we're going to glue down these beads that are on the wire from Dollar Tree. These are one of my favorite things from Dollar Tree. I think they are so worth the cost. Next, we're going to come back to our bunny, and I am going to put a layer of Mod Podge on this bunny because it's got kind of a textured finish to it, and I am going to be stenciling some words on our bunny, so I want to try and make it as smooth of a surface as possible. Then I have some wood letters here. I believe these are from Dollar General, and I'm just going to paint these letters that spell U with some pink paint. Now I want to stencil the words "some bunny loves," and then because that U on the stencil is so big, that's why I'm using the wood letters to spell the word U. So we're doing "some bunny" and then "loves" over here on the other side, and then we'll use those wood letters to finish the sentiment. While that's drying, I'm going to take kind of this teal green burlap ribbon from Dollar Tree. I'm going to make two simple loop bows. So I'm just making a loop here, overlapping it, and then I'm going to tie it in the center with some jute twine. This is pretty thin burlap type ribbon, so it's going to tie pretty easily. We are going to make our bunny be a little girl bunny, and I'm going to add these two bows to the top of the bunny when we complete our project. Now I am going to add some tumbling tower blocks to make our bunny flat, and so I'm gluing those there and then putting glue where I need to on the bunny so that it lays flat on our pizza pan. Now those bows you can see are going to be cute, but they're also serving to cover up the holes on the top of that bunny hanging sign. Aren't those so cute? I think that's adorable, and it matches the words there from our stencil. Then we're going to glue on the word "you" at the bottom of the bunny. And to finish off our little bows, we'll just add a small pink button into the center of each of the bows. Now I think the bunny is cute as is, but I decided to take this little heart and paint it with that same pink paint. I think it's called like French Rose or something. And I'm going to add this to the bunny's face to be a little nose. You could also draw whiskers if you'd like, but I'm just going to stop here. And then I did add a jute twine hanger to the back of our sign. You could also paint your beads if you would like. For DIY 23, we're going to make these bunny tag beaded garlands using these beaded tags from Dollar Tree, as well as some spring color beads and these little bunnies that have the little tail on them. It's kind of a wood shape or wood paper type on the one side, but I want to instead on the back side paint these bunnies. So I'm going to paint one of them with ballet slipper and one of them with pool blue. Now these tags from Dollar Tree come with 8 beads on the twine, which you could just attach the bunnies to the tags and call it good. But I wanted to make these a little more substantial and add more beads. So I'm going to remove the twine and the beads, save those for another project, and I am going to paint the back side of these MDF tags with my white Waverly chalk paint. Then you can see I'm going to have the pink bunny glued onto one of them right in the center and the blue bunny on the other. Then we're going to reattach our little mini white pom-pom to be the tails of our newly painted bunnies. All right, I am taking some twine and I am looping it through the hole here of the tag. You can see it's pretty thick. I'm using like 4 strands and I'm going to then put tape around it. It's because this twine is so thin is why I'm using 4 strands. I looped it through and then I'm going to use some of those unfinished beads. I'm going to use white and I'm also going to use the blue and pink ones. So with the blue bunny, I'm going to do natural blue, white, and then for the pink bunny, I'm going to do pink instead of the blue. Next, I'm going to make a tassel with jute twine. Using this tassel maker, you could also wrap it around a card, something stiff, just going around and then tying off the top portion of it. You're going to slide that smaller part of your tassel, like the head of it. You're going to tie that onto the end of your string where your beads are. And then we're going to cut off the string going around. I'm going to wrap it a little bit tighter and just make a nice finished tassel at the end of our beads. The last thing I'm going to do is take this really cute pastel gingham ribbon from Dollar Tree and I'm going to tie a bow first of all at the top of each tag, and then I'm also going to tie a bow at the top of the tassel. So each of our beaded garlands will have 2 of these bows in this pastel plaid ribbon. It's kind of a stiffer ribbon, which makes it kind of nice to be able to add it to these beaded garlands. Now these are really cute just to decorate little spaces. You can also add these to a tiered tray and I think they turned out so cute. For DIY 24, we're going to make this bunny and egg Easter sign using the bunny and egg plaques from Dollar Tree, some scrapbook paper, and some poster letters. So I have 3 of each. 3 of the bunnies and 3 of the eggs. We are going to paint these with maize for the bunnies and then with ballet slipper for the eggs. But notice I am not painting the fronts because we are going to use scrapbook paper. If you don't want to Mod Podge scrapbook paper, you can just paint the entire surface of your egg and bunny plaques. Here you can see I'm laying this pink paper down on the egg and tracing around with my fingernails so I can get a pretty good shape here to match the front of the egg, and I'm going to do that to all 3. And then I have that cute yellow with white polka dot scrapbook paper again that I'm going to do the same thing on the bunnies. Once I have all of those cut out and lined up for our plaques, we're going to go ahead and use some matte finish Mod Podge, brush that onto the top of each plaque, and then press down our scrapbook paper to match. We're going to get out any air bubbles and just let that dry. And I believe I will be going over that with Mod Podge again once we get our sticker letters on there. So scrapbook paper on the 6 shapes. Then we're going to come back and I have poster letters from Dollar Tree that I'm going to use to spell out Easter. Then to seal in both the scrapbook paper and the sticker letter, we're going to do Mod Podge over the top of all of it and down a little bit onto the edges of the bunnies and eggs. Now I have these two long surfaces from Dollar Tree. I really like the look of that, and I was trying to decide if I wanted the word happy on there. I had it left over from that wreath, but I decided I just wanted the word Easter. So I'm going to glue these bunnies and eggs onto one of these long signs. They are a little heavy, so what I'm going to decide to do is I am going to wood glue the other long sign onto the back of the one that already has the bunnies and eggs on it. I want to make this a thicker sign and just a little more sturdy. I could have glued them together before I glued the eggs and bunnies on, but I did it after the fact. It's okay. I used a really good wood glue, and then I'm going to clamp them together to make sure that they are nice and flat and stuck together. And here's the finished sign. This would look cute on a mantle or shelf as well. I love the 3D effect of these wood plaques, and the yellow and pink just make me so happy. All right, for DIY 25, our last one for this video, it's a really simple bunny pennant garland. Using these burlap shapes, we're going to use 6 of these wood ornament bunnies. We're going to paint them white, and then I'm going to go around them with some brown, I believe this is truffle paint, just to outline them and give them a little bit more dimension. Once that paint's dry, we'll take our little sander and blend that out a little bit. This is an alternative to using distress ink. You can use the paint and then sand it as well. Then I'm going to take some jute twine. I'm going to make the smallest little jute twine bows. We're going to glue these on the top of each of our bunnies just to cover up the ornament hole at the top. So we need 6 of the little bows. Then I'm going to cut some various Easter looking ribbons. I've got the yellow, I've got the plaid that we've seen already, and we're going to be adding these to our garland. Let's get those jute twine bows glued on each of our bunnies first. Then I'm going to take some glue and glue down each of our bunnies to one of these pennants. I believe I got this pennant banner at Dollar Tree, but I know you can get them at other craft stores as well, or you could make your own using maybe felt instead of the burlap. Now I'm going to add ribbon in between. I'm making a loop and then pulling the ends through the loop just to attach these to the rope or the twine that is between, and that's super simple. Look how cute that is. This would be adorable on a mantle. Well, I want to thank you guys so much for joining me today for these top 25 Easter Bunny DIYs that you can try in 2025. Let me know in the comments which of these was your favorite, and we'll see you next week. Don't forget for the top 25 religious Easter DIYs. I can't wait to see you again. Take care.